welcome everybody to a tribute to Oscar award-winning films as we prepare here on Unpopular Review Entertainment for the Oscars. You know, the granddaddy of them all, right? It's not just WrestleMania, it's the movies. Now, a lot of movies that win Oscar Pictures of the Year, we don't even watch. No one even watches. They don't even make a lot of money in the box office. But you know what it is? When Mike Knox picks an Oscar-winning movie, he's going to pick one that made a lot of money. So tonight, we're going to talk about Raymond, starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. We'll be right back, y'all.
I don't have a brother.
Of course, I'm an excellent driver.
You know how to drive?
Yeah.
Raymond! You never touch the steering wheel when I'm driving. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Of course, I don't have my underwear.
What? I like having you for my brother.
I'm an excellent driver.
Everybody, what a movie tonight to discuss. We are joined by the biggest rain cloud in the room, so I'm quite sure he's already going to hate on this movie because, hell, it didn't involve crazy people doing the crazy. So tonight I have two of my favorite hosts. Really, I can't even make this shit up. I mean it. I got Victor Moan Jr. down there in that cesspool of a city, New York City. We love you. I'm just joking with you. And then we got the executive consultant over here, the man who doesn't really have a master plan. We're going to talk about that tonight. But guys, we did Oscar award-winning films, and you put brothers on the spot. And so, you know what? I wanted to be like James on our Tuesday show. I wanted to pick something different, something I haven't watched. When Rain Man came out in 1988, I was 13 years old. I didn't understand that film at that time, and I watch it today, and I understand it a lot differently. Just to go ahead and give you a little backdrop about this movie, car dealership, Charlie Babbitt, Tom Cruise learns that he has a brother because his dad dies. Goes to his dad's not the funeral, but what do you call it, the will reading, and come to find out that all he got was rose bushes and a car. But somebody else, his brother, he didn't even know he had a brother. Somebody else got $3 million. Now, just to paint the picture, if you will, Charlie Babbitt's an ass. He's a straight jerk and a mean person, to be honest with you. He's just not a nice guy. I tell people all the time, I'm friendly, I'm not nice. Charlie Babbitt was not nice nor friendly. Finds out that he has a brother and that his brother is autistic. And to me, this is where the movie, in 1988, the world was not ready for this film. I don't think people quite understood autism at that point. Even to the point in the movie, and I get accused sometimes for being ignorant and saying a certain term that we should not use was used in this movie. And I'm going to just use that term so you can understand what I'm saying. He said, what is he, retarded? And we know that's a very negative term towards special needs people. But that was what he thought of him. Is he this? He said, no, he's autistic. And he explained autism to him. And now, without even knowing really the movie and him being autistic and those kind of things, I knew something wasn't right from, again, I was 13 years old when this movie came out. At 13, I'm trying to be Darryl Strawberry minus the crack. Okay, that's all I knew. I wanted to be a baseball player. Okay, and so I watched that movie not quite understanding that movie. But watching it today, as a husband and a brother-in-law to 4 autistic brothers, this movie takes a little different for me. Having an autistic child myself, this movie holds something different for me. I learned some things today from watching this movie on how you speak, how you communicate, to the point where I seen in the movie where he's like naming every single plane because he wants to fly to LA because basically Charlie steals his brother. I'm going to just take him out of here. He's worth $3 billion. F that. I'm owed at least half of that. I deserved that from a dad who wasn't nothing, from a mother who died when I was young, and I got a brother I had no idea existed who got $3 million. Unfair. I'm going to steal him, and I'm going to hold him for ransom. And that's what he attempted to do. So he's trying to get to L.A., and he's like, can't fly on a Delta because in 1976, 38 people died. When you can't fly on American, he's like, look, man, every plane dies. So I remember I called my son and said, look, man, we about to travel. I need you to go on this airplane. I'm not trying to have these things happen when I get to the airport because my son, who's autistic, has never flown. So this movie takes a lot of twists and turns, a lot of ups and downs. But overall, I'm gonna take a pause here for a second. He's been writing over here, Vic, like he's James. Like he has a lot to say. So for once, I'm gonna let him go first. For once, Vic, okay? And that way you can retort his nonsense. I'm quite sure he's gonna say. Executive consultant, yeah. Give me something about this movie. Your early thoughts, if you will.
I'll give you my early thoughts. My early thoughts is I looked on there trying to say, hey, where can I watch this movie at? Because we're doing, I don't know if he mentioned it, he might have mentioned it. We're doing the Oscar winners for Best Pictures as we get the Oscars. He said it's the Mac Daddy, Granddaddy, all that other stuff. Great. Let's see what Mike Knox picks. Where can I go? Oh, there it is. Rain Man. 1980s. Okay, that's fine. Dustin Hoffman. Okay. Tom Cruise. Okay. 2 hours and 13 fucking minutes, man.
2:14.
He's my PG-13. Why is it with you two? You always have me watch the time is limited. It's black. Time is limited, and y'all got me watching these 2-hour movies, man. Like I don't got life, broski.
You watch
so I said, okay, let me do my job.
All over 2 hours.
I can play my Marvel movies too.
Okay.
All right. Let me do my job. Watch this movie. I like road trip movies, huh? Right? I do. That's what this was. It was a road trip movie. I'm lying. I don't like road trip movies, man. I don't. They stop in every little freaking city. They can't go on an airplane. Hey, I don't disrespect the guy. I can't get on the fucking airplane either. It's 2. I'm in charge. I'm in trouble. Now, that being said, I'm watching this, and I can see why Dustin Hoffman wins the Best Picture. I mean, Best Actor award, because he won Best Actor for this. He played the hell out of this movie. Right? Tom Cruise did what he does, but Dustin Hoffman really got into character this movie. And shout out to Mr. Knox here because he said, "I don't think the world was ready." I'm not shouting as loud as he does. I don't think the world was ready to talk about autism at this time, and they weren't. Autism really wasn't a thing being talked about really into the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when it was starting to be talked about, not really discussed on another level to really the 2010s. That's when we finally discovered that, half of y'all probably autistic. So as I'm sitting here and watching, I'm like, wow, this is deep. Because as I talked to a good friend of mine earlier and, was complaining about the fact that, my other good friend had me watch this movie. A lot of autistic people, a lot of the autistic people I know and I have met are highly intelligent. I dare say more intelligent than I am. And even if they weren't, I swear they are because of the way they are able to focus their attention on certain things. Not everything, because that's the reason why they're autistic, but the way they're able to focus some things on their attention on certain things that give you that thing. When he first started doing the numbers, they were like, damn, you're a genius. This movie educates you. And it teaches you a lot about stuff that you did not know. It makes you woke in this decade that people weren't woke. See how he's waking up now? I respect that. Vic, on you.
Well, there isn't much to say because the fact of the matter is that now a lot of people know and are aware about autism, and back then they would have just called him a retard. So because there was just something wrong with him, they wouldn't have necessarily looked into the nuances of the situation. And I think you're right in assessing the fact that I think I never saw this movie, but because of the time that we're in now, it's very compelling and it's easy to relate to, especially if you know somebody that's been dealing with that, or you know how to communicate with somebody like that. I mean, for the most part, from my experience at least, most of the people that have some kind of special need don't want to be treated don't want to be treated like there's something wrong with them. You know, they might talk weird, but you should speak normally.
It's offensive.
You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of stuff, you know, when a lot of times in the beginning, it's kind of difficult to figure out what is offensive and what isn't. And I think that they portrayed that in this movie very, very well. Like, for example, the guy didn't like to be hugged at all or touched or anything. And they expressed that early in this movie. But even later on, like when the girl tried to kiss him and stuff like that, or when the girl tried to dance with him, you know, that was difficult. When his brother tried to hug him, like he had to ask him, like, can I give you a hug type shit? Like, you know, just little behaviors like that. And then another thing is that social cues, a lot of social cues that happen between, you know, I hate to say it, but regular human beings that don't necessarily have this problem is just lost. And I think that was expressed right there in the sex scene when Tom Cruise was having sex with his girl. And then all of a sudden the guy comes in the room, sits at the edge of the bed.
He's moaning with him.
He's moaning with him. No, he's moaning with him while he's mesmerized by what's going on the television.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't necessarily realize what's wrong in this situation. You know, what the problem is, like, you know, like there's a lot of social cues that he just doesn't pick up on. Like the guy is brilliant, but he can't read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have that whole aspect. So for 1988, for them to portray this the way that they did, I think that they did it. I think they did a very good job. I really do, because I was certainly entertained. Like, if I was a kid, I would have been bored out of my mind by this movie, because it's basically just two guys going on a road trip talking and whatever. But as an adult, I sat for the whole ride. And my favorite scene was when Tom Cruise made the joke at the end that made him smile with the maple syrup, because then you could see, you know, you right there in that scene, you're seeing everything full circle. Like, you know, he didn't know he had a brother. He found out he had a brother with this condition, and then, you know, abused the condition to the point of going to Vegas and gambling. Like, listen, I expected them to get caught and have a big issue and get arrested and something like that. But no, they were about to let him go free and clear.
Well,
like,
it's not illegal. It's just frowned upon.
Of course.
If you watch Old School, I mean, not Old School, Hangover.
Yeah.
Maybe said Raymond did it.
I feel yeah. So, like, I mean, and it was just beautiful how they got away with it and just cashed out. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, that just had that whole thing, the way that they just went about it was very interesting. But long story short, he literally built a relationship with a brother that he never knew he had. You know, he had more reason to be mad at his parents from keeping that from him. And now he wants to, you know, and now he's just a better person now. Now he realizes that, you know, money buys things, not people. So, you know.
I'll tell that to the people who owned our ancestors. We go take
yeah, because they looked at us like we was things. You know what I mean? I mean, they still look at us like we things.
Yeah, they still do, right? They still own half of us. We be right back, y'all, on Pop Review Entertainment.
Wait a minute. It's 139 Edgecombe Avenue. My name is Claudine Price.
Rupert P. Marshall, 7 o'clock. Hello? Miss Claudine Price Leaford?
Yeah.
6 kids and 4 rooms.
36 and it ain't old.
It's too old to be messing around.
20th Century Fox presents James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll in Claudine.
Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay.
All right, guys. So just Claudine Oscar award-winning picture starring, like you heard it, James Earl Jones. For those who don't know, that's Darth Vader. That's who he really is. That's the voice. Only thing that matters.
Mufasa.
Okay. Mufasa. And Diane Carroll. Like, I'm not even on Tuesday again, but I'm gonna watch that movie just to tune in and see what they have to say about it, because it's something
you want to join in on that one too?
Nah, I got no. I
Were
don't.
you going to play the other trailer?
Yeah, sure. We'll be right back. Vic, you got me watching a scary movie.
I guess so.
He doesn't even know. You know what's so sad? You're worried about the fact that it's a scary movie. I'm not worried about that. I give 2 F's about that. I'm upset because this movie's in subtitles. I didn't know this movie was in subtitles until I downloaded to do it. Vic, you know how much I cannot stand watching movies with subtitles. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing
Vic?
this?
If I want to watch a movie, if I want to read a book, I'll go read a book.
Listen. We was in the chat. I asked Meta AI what were the Oscar movies, right? You was there with me in the chat room, and I picked the movie. So don't
Cyberdyne that damn AI alone.
If you want to ask Cyberdyne shit, you ask Cyberdyne shit on your own time. But
first of all, you don't know if it's gonna be a good movie or not. So shoot fly with all the hate.
You know what? I know why you picked AI. You know why you picked AI. Don't think I don't know why you picked AI. I peep you. I know why you picked AI. Sir.
Why?
Yeah, I'm not saying it on air. You know what I'm saying? I ain't having the drones come after me like I'm Sarah Connor.
We are talking Rain Man, starring Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise, 1988. Little fun facts I like to do out here. Vic, you talk about blockbuster, you talk about money grabs. Why this money didn't have a sequel, I don't know. They spent $25 million on this film. This film grossed by 2022, because it's still making money today, $878 million. And the box office, though, $354 million in that year of 1988. That's insane for a picture that cost $25 million to make. And you touched on some things, Vic, before we went to break. And Charlie Babbitt wasn't a good guy. And his brother changed him in a sense. And what I thought was beautiful about the film was him trying to learn Charlie. Like one of my favorite scenes is they're out. He's trying to get to LA because he won't fly. And he's knocks on a random people's door. It's like, listen, I'm here with the Nielsen readings, which today Nielsen readings don't probably even exist or count anymore. But they do, shit. Right? But he says, listen, truth be told, listen, this is my brother. He's about to go ape shit crazy on your porch right now if he can't watch Wapner. She said, we watch cartoons around 5 o'clock. Will that be okay? Cut. No, they're watching Wapner. It was not okay. Okay. And something I didn't even pick on, because again, you said as a kid it was boring. I saw this as a 13-year-old teenager kid. I was intrigued by it because it's just one of them films that my parents had on, that came on. You had home box office, as a cable network. I saw it and I was intrigued by it, but never remembered too much about it. But I did not know until today that, and I knew the movie was called Rain Man, but where they came up with the name from, because Charlie kept saying his name wrong. He says, my name is Raymond. He said, it's not. He said, what I'm gonna say. He said, you're saying Rain Man. It's like today I got Chris picked on me like a consultant. I said, I need a Cadillac converter. He says, not call a Cadillac converter. I still don't know the difference in the name, what the real name is. Catalytic converter. Right? But I forever has called it a Cadillac converter. And I thought that was very good in this movie. And I will say, because we use the word now, cringe. The girlfriend in the elevator, what the hell was he thinking? Right?
And she was thinking he's never gonna have this opportunity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that, and to tell you the truth, I don't even think she was looking at it like that. She was, because the thing is that she kept treating him like a sad little boy. And to be honest with you, I think that the way that she was treating him alludes to what I was speaking to earlier, where you just treat people like that like they're broken. And she was doing that a lot. Like, you know, she was, you know, even though it helped to change Tom Cruise, like she was just like, oh,
Yeah, I thought she helped
everything.
him more than Charlie did. But he says, she says, "How was that?" He goes, "It was wet." You know. So if you have any,
nobody was asking that. Nobody ever asked that question.
No one ever asked that.
That's why I say he can't read between the lines.
The date and they're in Vegas, and he's like, "Yeah, honey." Charlie's like, "I don't think he wants this date." All he kept saying, "I got a date. I got a date. I got a date. I got a date." And she's like, "What do you guys do?" He said, "Counting cards." She said, "Wait, we're counting cards." That's what we're doing. We're counting cards. The underpants scene. I got to get my underwear from Kmart, and Tom not understanding that. To me, that's where I feel the growth of these movies. Again, I'm not just saying this because I hope you guys are listening, like, follow, and subscribe. You see all the social medias around you. Please share everything that we do because, why not? But one of the things that I love about Unpopular Review Entertainment is watching films or going back and watch films that I can see differently than I did 30 years ago, and watching it today, you learn so much because, again, I meet a woman who has 4 autistic brothers, I mean severely autistic brothers, highly on the spectrum, okay? And I used to be uncomfortable around them. And a lot of them had a lot of the symptoms that you see in the movie, like you couldn't touch, sensory issues. My son has to have the headphones on. And I have a loud house. Chris has been at my house. I have surround sound. My son will sit there like this. And I'll be like, man, it ain't that loud. And I got to think to myself, to him, it really will be. I can't. I remember I've been trying to make him mow the lawn. I can't make him mow the lawn. I'm trying to make him be a man by mowing the lawn, but the lawnmower is too damn loud for him. You know what I mean? He can't do those kind of things. They just bother him. And so watching this film and watching the smoke screen come up, the smoke detector go off and those kind of things. And the most beautiful thing in this movie to me really is the end of the film. Because as much as he got in those 6 days to love his brother and want his brother around, he knew he wasn't able to be able to help him. And that he needed to be with someone who could understand him more and help him more into the home in which he was a part of. So I thought that was good. But executive consultant, final thoughts, any quotables, and then give me your thumbs up, thumbs down.
I can tell you what I didn't like. I don't like her. I don't like the scene.
She was hot.
Yeah, but I feel like, and y'all try to make it make sense to me about what she was doing. And you know how you want to argue with me, you just make it make sense. You did a good job, but I still look at her, and all I is she shouldn't have kissed him. Dancing is one thing I could have let that slide, but she shouldn't have kissed him. That was inappropriate, right? And I think she was falling for him a little bit because she felt sorry for him. And sometimes people don't know how to differentiate between.
You know what? I kind of agree with you because
you should. Because
one thing.
Go ahead.
One thing that I could tell that she was definitely into when it comes to him was how genuine he is.
Mm-hmm. Compared to one person, like a pony. Because compared to his brother, Raymond's brother, who was completely, even though you can tell he cares about her, definitely in this movie, but he doesn't know how to express. Hey, I understand. I feel you, Charlie. Doesn't know how to express it that well, so sometimes it can come across disingenuous, even though he's not trying to be disingenuous. Yeah. Even with his brother, he actually cared about his brother. You can see the progression. You can see the progression of it, him caring about his brother. But at first, what he was trying to gain was more selfish needs.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing, and I think, and shout out to to James because he said this in the chat earlier. He quoted this movie. I can see this is right up James's alley. James loved this movie because it was good, and I loved that. I loved how, and he would tell me how it dates back to slavery issues, and because it's something. I'm looking at James like, damn, I don't know how you look that deep into it. I'm over here wondering what I would have had for dinner. Good job to you, James. This is a good movie that Mike picked for you, right? And shout out to Vic because he is trying so hard. You hear this? This is going to make Raymond come and sit on my bed. But he's trying so hard to beat it in exactly how this movie is foreseen. right? I want to play a clip.
Uh-oh.
It's a clip from the award that Raymond won.
The nominees for Best Picture are Raymond, Mark Johnson, producer. And the winner is Raymond, Mark Johnson, producer.
See? I'm respecting the fact that it won that award that year. Why are you looking like that, Mike?
I don't know. Sometimes with you, I'm always expecting something different.
Oh, you don't know. It was right on money. Here, watch again.
The nominees for Best Picture are Raymond.
I thought I heard that the first time.
I was amazed. I didn't know the Oscars had that category. I had no clue that the Oscars had that category.
So to sit there said you gave this
Ladies
movie a
and
thumbs
gentlemen.
down.
Are you not entertained?
You know, that might get put in there. The Rock's holding up the L. Because at the end of the day, even though I respect the movie, listen to what I'm saying. All right, because I'm not going to hate on it. Joking aside.
Really?
I respect the movie. Really, that's all done. However, everybody knows my criteria is, did I enjoy watching the movie? And I did not enjoy watching the movie. I respect it. I don't think it was a dumb movie. I don't think it was stupid. I can see why it's made. I can see why people enjoy it. I can see why it won Best Picture. But to my enjoyment, no, I was not enjoying it. I was not a fan. Was not a fan of the ending, even though I respect it. So it gets a thumbs down for me.
Vic, final thoughts? You have a quotable maybe? And thumbs up, thumbs down. Uh-oh.
Yeah, my quotable, 11 o'clock, lights out.
That's my line too, yo. He said they got me on by 11. That's bedtime.
Yeah. Oh man. I enjoyed how, just reminiscing on how big the People's Court was. And The Price is Right. And like how those, and the fucking Watchmen. Oh man, that Watchmen brought back so many memories. Do you understand how much of a privilege it was to watch TV on a handheld device in 1988? Man, listen, that thing cost him $200.
Easy.
In the middle of the road. And your man was walking around watching TV at all times. Like, come on, man. That was just privilege right there. I mean, listen, I think that this movie should be used to educate people about autism. More than anything, I mean, it's educational more than anything. It's a little entertaining. It's not, I certainly wouldn't Netflix and chill on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I was still in the Netflix and chill days. But like, if I had to explain autism to somebody, I would definitely recommend this movie. So for those reasons, I give it a thumbs up.
I picked it. I'm a Tom Cruise Supermark fan. Dustin Hoffman, again, this guy's coming off a Tootsie and all the kind of things that Dustin Hoffman has done. I think his catalog is underrated, personally. To this day, to me, still the best Captain Hook, any Peter Pan movie.
I mean, he was nominated for the Best Actor award 6 times.
Yeah. So for me, 100%, I agree with both of you guys, especially you, Vic, in there about it. Again, watching this film today opened my eyes still to things, and I've dealt with this for 20 some odd years in my household around my family. Okay, and having someone of my own. I have a kid in a grocery store that gives me hope, who, openly says, "Hey, I'm autistic." And I can see it. And it's something that I learned from my wife. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes. It's in their eyes. It's how their eyes are, lowered. They just don't seem to be. They can't focus on you. They won't give you eye to eye contact, kind of a thing. But he gives me hope, and I speak to him and I talk to him, and I always tell my wife, he can live alone. He can work, but I don't think he would live alone. You know what I mean? And as someone who's, it's weird that I, from the inner city of Chicago by way of Philadelphia, I'm such the softest dad in the world when it comes to things. My kids go to the store and I'm paranoid. Like, yo, please call me when you get to the store. What are you doing? So I wouldn't want that to happen. So just watching this film put so much in perspective for me. I gotta be honest with you guys. I did enjoy it. I did like it. And maybe because it's so heartfelt and it did touch it home. Maybe that's why. I remember enjoying it as a kid. It's something about the certain scenes, him stealing him letting him drive the car, him picking out the toothpicks and knowing how many was there. The doctor's like, hey, Raymond, what's this crazy math problem? And he just knew the answer. Those things all my entire life and my adult having a child, I've always compared my son to him. So watching this movie, I'm like, damn, that is my son, Christian. And when I mentioned it to you earlier, you even said, I can see that. Right? He's one of the most intelligent people in the world. So for that, again, loving Tom Cruise, I like watching character development, right? And his character developed from being a douchebag a-hole to boom, I got a brother I never knew I had. And I gotta care for him, and I cannot care for him the way that I want to care. Because when you're a family of someone on autism, it's not about you. It's about the person, and you have to be for that person. Little small tip you get out of here. You brought up earlier talking about not being all there or saying the wrong things or not having the lights on. Never forget one time my son said to a girl, we all thought it, but oh, you look kind of big in that bathing suit. And I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, what is wrong? But literally, we all were thinking the exact same thing.
Children got no filter.
But he comes out and says it, and you're just like partially embarrassed, but partially you're laughing because it's true. So for me, absolutely a thumbs up because damn it, I picked it, and I ain't yet to pick a movie I gave a thumbs down to that I can remember. Guys, girls out there, we appreciate you for checking in and tuning in to Unpop Review Entertainment. Come back again next week.
Oh, that's funny.
Possibly from Pluto. Listen, check us out and look for us on a whole different tip on the wrestling side, guys. If you're in the wrestling world and you're out there in the Philadelphia area, we are invading Philadelphia. Come by, say hi. We might be at karaoke. Check out the 3 Gots to No Ma'am shirts on. All right, guys, we are out of here. I am Mike Knox, that is executive consultant. That is Vic Damone Jr. And this has been Unpop Review Entertainment. Peace.
My brother, I don't have a brother.
Of course, I'm an excellent driver.
You know how to drive?
Yeah.
Raymond! You never touch the steering wheel when I'm driving. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Of course, I don't have my underwear.
What? I like having you for my brother.
Yeah.